don't know if it'll be worth it.
It's such a big number, I genuinely don't even think about it.
I think the loans, the interest rates are quite extortionate.
I mean, it's a really system, so.
It's just ridiculous now. They're going up every year.
Student debt, we hate it.
And how much student debt do you have?
About 50,000?
50,000 pounds?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, man. How do you plan to play that off?
Just working my whole life, really. Yeah.
And do you think it's worth it?
It's not really worth it, but it's just the state of the world and the kind of career that I want to go into. You kind of need a postgraduate and undergraduate degree. So, yeah, I wish it was cheaper.
What's the career you want to go into?
Environmental management or flood risk management.
And without a degree, you just can't get into that at all?
I mean, you can, but it's a lot harder. So,
What are the career prospects with that? What in terms of salary and so on?
pretty standard. Like nothing. Not too high paying, but also it's not like the worst career to go into. So. Yeah, just I'm not really motivated by money though, so yeah.
Okay. And how are you paying for your student loans?
Right now I'm just working part-time to cover everything, and then I'll continue working when I graduate for a bit just to pay off the rest of my fees basically.
And do you know how much other students have? And do you think 50,000 is typical or?
I mean, I think it's typical if you just took out all the loans from your undergraduate, graduate and postgraduate loans. I think that's just, if you do that, you'll probably have around 50,000. It just depends on your circumstances.
And how does that break down quickly?
12.5 is from this postgraduate loan, and then there's about 9k from my accommodation fees from my first year of uni, and then the rest is probably my undergraduate tuition.
Any final comments about what you think about student loans?
I mean, it's a really shit system, so yeah, that.
Where are you from?
Sheffield.
Sheffield. All right, so another UK student. How much do you have in student debt?
I think I have about 80 grand now.
Damn!
I'm sorry.
Because I did a 4-year degree and a part-time master's over 2 years. I think master's debt's like 12 grand, and then before that it's like 20 grand a year, because 9 grand for tuition fees and then another 9 grand for maintenance loan, like maximum maintenance
So
loan.
over £80,000 in student debt.
So something like that. Someone else can do the maths.
And what are you studying now?
Medieval studies.
Okay. And what do you hope to do with that?
I would like to present or be a researcher on like history documentaries or podcasts.
Do you have any experience in presenting or doing anything like that?
Not presenting, but I do modelling, and they kind of cross over a little bit. I do have some acting experience as well.
Okay. So how much do you pay in terms of rent per month or per year?
Nothing. I moved back home with my parents.
Okay.
But I spend £400 a month getting to London.
So you're commuting from Sheffield?
From Sheffield to London.
That's insane.
I did live here for like 6 months, but I couldn't afford it. It was like £1,000 a month in rent.
So it's cheaper for you to commute from Sheffield than to live in London?
Only because I don't have to pay rent in Sheffield, but yeah.
£400 per month is probably cheaper than any rent that you'd find in London.
Exactly,
In a decent place at least.
I only have to be in like twice a week. It's my last lesson today. That's it. I'm done with classes for the year.
So before you started this course and then, or your old degree and until now, do you think it's been worth it, this investment of over £80,000?
We'll see. We will see. I feel like, I think it's changed my complete life direction, and hopefully it will open up some opportunities in the future.
How has it changed your complete life direction?
Before that, I was working in a bar, like in nightclubs, and I just couldn't really see myself doing anything other than managing the bar. Like, that's about as high as you can get. And like, I don't have wealthy parents. I can't be like starting up my own businesses or anything like that. So I feel like having a qualification just gets your foot in the door of so many jobs nowadays. They require you to have a degree, whatever degree it is, it doesn't matter. They just like the postgraduate jobs. So hopefully, we don't know if it'll be worth it.
But what do you think of that so many jobs require you to have a degree, even though that degree isn't necessarily relevant to the job itself?
I think it just shows how much of a business like university is now. You're basically paying for your qualification, not like, you learn stuff and that's fantastic, but you're essentially, they want you there, whether your grades are good enough or not. They want you there because you're paying them to stay open.
What advice would you have for anyone before starting university with regards to student debt?
Do something that you love, and then the debt won't matter so much. If you just do something for the sake of getting a job or for the sake of pleasing your parents, then you're not going to get anything good out of it. At least if you do something that you love doing, regardless of the debt, you've learnt and amassed some knowledge that has interested you.
Any final comments about student loans and student debt in general?
It's just ridiculous now. Like, I don't even know. Like, they're going up every year. It's just getting ridiculous in this country. Like, compared to other countries in Europe, where it costs like £2,000 a year to go to university, why can't it be like that in the UK? I don't know. They must be making so much money, the vice chancellors of all of these universities. They're on like £500,000 a year. And that the lecturers are having to strike to get like proper working contracts. Like,
And there are other countries in Europe where students actually get paid to do degrees.
even
Whereas
Scotland. But yeah, if I could go back in time, I probably would explore other options, going to other countries, or even just going up to Scotland. It's my last day today, so I'm happy that I don't have to commute to London anymore.
what are you studying?
Physics.
Architecture.
Architecture where?
Yeah.
UCL. All right. Okay. How much debt do you have? Student debt do you have?
Personally, I don't because I'm in a scholarship.
Okay.
And then mine's just the my student loan, which is like 6k, I think.
6k?
Yeah. Well, and of course the my tuition fee as well, which is paid off.
6,000 per year. And how many? And your course is what? 3 years.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. 3 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So at 18, what? 6, 12, 18, yeah. 18,000?
Yeah. Around about.
Okay. And then how much for accommodation as well?
I pay like $9.50 a month, so it's like, well, I got a 10-month contract, so it's like,
It's about 10,000 for 3 years per accommodation. So that's 30k plus the 18k.
Yeah.
So it's like 48k, yeah?
yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking
Okay,
good.
okay. What do you think about that? How are you going to be able to pay that back? Do you think it's worth the money?
Yes, because I'm not from London, and I think coming to London was one of like the best decisions I ever made. Because obviously opportunities, meeting new people, like Juliana, for example. And because I'm from up north, right, I just feel like you don't get the opportunities for that up north, so I think it's worth it.
Okay.
And now, obviously, I am in debt, but I think being in London, I can make it back because of all the opportunities I was telling you about.
What do you hope to do in the future with your degree?
No clue. Absolutely no idea.
So you have no clue, but you think it's worth it?
Yeah.
That just makes no sense.
Because while I don't have an idea, I think the skills I get from my degree are like really versatile and important, and therefore it can help me give me a better chance to get a better job.
Do you think university was the only way for you to get those skills?
No, but for example, I could have done a degree apprenticeship, I could have gone straight into industry, but I also want to have like a uni life as well, because for example, I'm in first year, of course, I've been living life. I feel like the money I spent being in debt has been worth it for the experiences that I've had so far.
Do you have any advice for anyone in terms of student debt and how to manage that?
I'm pretty terrible at managing it myself, but just keep a track of your spendings, I guess. Because a lot of people, like when they come to uni, they just go all out first time, and then they look at their bank account and like, oh, But it's just, I guess, keeping responsibility, I guess, staying on top of things, and then as long as you do that, and also, get a part-time job, do stuff like that, find other ways to make money. For example, I have a few friends who have like other side hustles. One of them's a private chef. One of them does haircuts for people, makes a lot of money like that. So yeah, just find different ways to make money, and then I think you'll be fine.
Fantastic. Any final comments about student debt?
Student debt. Student debt, we hate it. But it's too bad, it's not too bad. Because
40, 50 plus K.
yeah, but to be fair, you don't have to pay it all off at once. It's only a fraction of your income that you get in the future.
Do you think comparing to say like the USA where it's not necessarily taken from your salary, you pay it more directly, do you think it's a better system that we have here in the UK for student debt?
Yes, because, and also student debt in the US is like way more as well. You have to pay like loads more. So also the fact that it comes out of your salary is a lot more, you don't have to think about it as much. Rather than, for example, in the US, if you get your taxes wrong, then what's it called? The IRS, they're coming for you. So, but with the UK, it's kind of like done all for you, and you just have to, just do whatever, and it just does it for you.
And if they overcharge you, hopefully they'll pay you back the amount that they've overcharged you.
Hopefully.
About 27k.
And what's that made up of?
3 years of tuition fees.
Okay. And what course are you doing?
Well, right now I'm doing Global Health, Social Justice and Public Policy, which is a postgrad course. And then for my undergrad, I did History and Politics. So right now I'm paying £14,000 on top of that. So that's 12k student finance and then 2,000 of my own.
Okay. And what do you think will be the outcome if you do that degree?
Well, I want to go into like policy writing or policy analysis, or work for a think tank, that kind of field.
And do you think it's worth it, the amount that you're having to pay in tuition fees and accommodation fees and so on?
No.
No?
No.
No?
I think we're fortunate to live like in a country where, university is still accessible in a sense. And I guess some people say that you can view student finance as like an extra tax in a way. So in that sense, I guess we are fortunate, but I also feel like it's quite overwhelming to kind of realize you're £27,000 in debt. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's completely worth it.
What kind of advice do you have for anyone, I guess, in terms of before they come to university, in terms of how to manage the tuition fees and the student fees in general?
I would say find a job that's has a very specific career in line, so that at least the debt will be worth it.
Yeah.
And how much do you have overall in student debt?
Somewhere over £60,000, I think. Yeah.
And what's that made up of?
So I get the full maintenance loan because I'm like the lowest band of household earning. I'm a council estate girl, and then I have the full 9,200 or whatever, 300, like the tuition fee on top of that. And that's actually not just the only funding I get. I also get a scholarship on top, and that doesn't even clear it. But yeah.
So 60,000 and a scholarship, and that doesn't clear the total amount that you've had to pay.
No, because the scholarship was meant to cut my tuition fee, but then I wouldn't have enough money to live off of in town because London's a crazy place to live financially. Like it covers my rent essentially. The scholarship, yeah.
And what course are you doing?
History and politics.
Okay. A 3-year degree.
Yeah.
Okay. And how much is it per year in tuition fees?
I think, oh my god, this is showing my ignorance. I think it's like 9,000. It's the standard 9,250. It's such a big number. I genuinely don't even think about it. It just gets lumps into something.
You're commuting in every time for university.
Yeah. I cycle.
How do you find that?
It used to be really expensive. Before I got a bike, it would be my biggest expense because the trains are crazy. It'd be like 70 quid if I wasn't careful. But now I've got a bike, my life has improved a little bit. There's a nice cycling community in London and it's free after you've paid, but get your bike refitted, yeah.
And what do you think about the amount that you have to pay? How do you find that as an experience?
Well, I think that my cohort has it better than the next, which has a longer, the loan isn't writ off after 30 years, it's 40, so that's definitely not as, that's definitely like a worsening of conditions. I think we've been sold a lie. I mean, I think there's been a lot of coverage about this recently, about how the rate of inflation was not part of the deal that you signed like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that was not stated, that there could be adjustments to your loan when you took it after the fact that you signed it. I don't think that's right. I think that tuition fees increase in 2011 was the wrong thing to do, and there isn't enough in the government to put that back on track. And I think there's a lot of talk about how this affects middle class people, but it affects working class people the most. I'm still burdened with £60,000 of debt, which is only going to get bigger no matter how much funding they give me. No, I think it's like a way of entrenching inequality in the university system. So yeah, get rid of them. Yeah.
Agreed. What do you hope to do for the future, given this degree that you're taking on?
I don't know. I'm not a careerist. I don't have like direct aspirations. I think I want to work wherever I can in the community in which I live. I think I might be a gardener when I graduate for a little bit. I mean, even that's a pipe dream these days. But no, I want to work in some sort of like public-facing role. But I think, I mean, this is almost the lesson of my student loan. I'm not, motivated by cash. It's a slippery slope into a debt I can't write off. That's what I think.
So I've heard this a lot, like students aren't motivated by cash or money, but then you take on this huge burden. Why take on that huge burden in the first place if you're not motivated by cash? Why come and do this degree?
Because I love to learn. And say what you will about LSE's culture, it has fantastic staff and the academics here are just brilliant. And that is the thing that I was most interested in, is getting the best education I possibly could for no other sake other than for knowledge itself. It's been a real gift to have access to these historians and political theorists. I also think it's culturally ingrained. This is something that you do, is almost like a rite of passage instead of like a financial decision. So I suppose that's why I did it. I didn't really feel like I had an option.
Do you think that's right, that it's become kind of culturally ingrained that people should go, once you finish sixth form college or college, that you then go on to university? Do you think that should be the only kind of path that's ingrained in the way that we think?
No, I don't.
No.
I think that the reason that the university system has become some sort of a step into adulthood is because there aren't any other spaces in which young people can meet each other. And it started in the 90s as a way of socializing people. You might meet people from other classes. This is about social mobility. But now it's basically just become I think a 3-year holiday resort for middle class people and a way of getting working class people into financial precarity. But I think that it serves a social role, which is good because it's changed my life completely. Coming to LSE as an international community is I've come from a council estate outside London, has shown me things I would have never had access to. But the fact that it's the only option, there's no public space in which people might even dare to foster these kind of connections, is a problem. And there in other countries in Europe, there are other types of institutions that facilitate this, but not in the UK. So yeah.
What kind of things has it shown you that you say you wouldn't have been able to get elsewhere?
It's shown me how much money people have in the world.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
LSE is a very wealthy place.
Absolutely.
I've met people from all around the world and really intelligent people that I'm so grateful. My friends are really come from a global community, there's a privilege in that, being able to like converge in the UK. I mean, intellectually, it's shown me so much about like the knowledge and the types of way people create knowledge across the planet. Really, yeah, that's the big two, I'd say. Yeah.
And given that you're, have over £60,000 in debt, do you think it's worth it overall?
Worth it? I don't know. Yeah. I think that there's a panic about how big the debt's getting because of the changes and the changes not put in by Rachel Reeves. I think that I'm thinking it more now as a permanent tax on my income, and that framing it as a bad financial decision that I took when I was 18 is like the incorrect course. And the way to think about it is really like, okay, well, this is almost an institutionalized necessity. And what can we do for the next generation in order to make it better? In terms of feeling regret, I feel none. I'm very grateful to have had this like opportunity to learn. And no, I wouldn't go back, but I guess I'll be paying the price for some time.
Yeah, those are very good points that you make. I think the way that we've institutionalized going to university, not giving alternatives to have like a broadening of your horizons, which is so important. I think there are alternatives, but you have to kind of make them yourselves. Things like going to events like meetup.com, where I've met so many international people without necessarily having to be at university. But even when you go there, so many people are university educated anyway. So you kind of, if you don't have that university background, it kind of creates a gap in between how you relate to one another, which shouldn't be the way it is in life. Yeah, any final comments about advice you'd have for anyone else in the future regarding student loans, student debt?
Yeah, I think pursue what you're drawn to. Don't let this price tag interfere with you wanting to educate yourself, because you'll need it, truly. And like knowing what type of institutions you're coming up against and how much money they're making you pay them is important. It's bad, but you can find a balance, I think.
What are you studying?
I'm studying BSc Accounting and Finance.
So how much were your course fees overall?
So since I'm a domestic student, it's about 10,000 a year.
Okay.
But I don't take a student loan. So, I mean, I was originally planning to take a student loan. However, my parents decided, because the interest rates are fairly high in them, about 4 or 5% at least, it would just be wise to pay off early, so instead of taking on the loan and paying more off later.
So your parents helped you out by paying your student the 10,000?
That's right, yeah.
Get a load of this guy.
And are you contributing towards that to help them pay it back, or what's the situation there?
I mean, we had a deal. So I applied to 4 other different universities, and they said if I go onto the LSE, then they'll pay off my student fees. So I said, yeah, that sounds good. I'll do the best I can. And I do want to help them out. So ideally, this summer, I do plan to do part-time jobs.
And do you think it's worth it, £10,000 for what, a 1-year degree?
I mean, for each year, £10,000, I would say it's worth it, not just because of the teaching, but the resources you get, the facilities, the library, and just like the social life it exposes you to. So I would say it's worth it, yeah.
Okay. What do you expect to be the outcome of getting the degree?
At the LSE, it's a target university, of course. So ideally, there'd be good graduate prospects. Ideally, I mean, so far I've been training quite well, and I mean, the education standards are quite high. So I'm like I have a lot more expertise within the area I'm studying, of course. I mean, I do just make good friends out of it. I'm part of the hockey society, so some good community and just enjoy it, really.
So it's £10,000 per year, is that undergraduate degree? So it's 30,000 overall?
Yeah.
And your parents are paying all of that?
There are, yeah.
Okay. What impact do you think that has, that your parents are paying for all of that instead of you having to take on that burden?
My parents, they want to invest in my education. They think it's important for me, and of course I would help them out in the future when they retire and stuff. I'm more than happy to do that. I think it's a risky investment, of course. It's sending your child to education, it's expensive, but I think they wanted me to experience the university as well, like university life, so I think they were happy to do it. So.
Have you had much conversation with international students about how they find it with the student fees?
I mean, most of the students, their parents are more than able to pay off, so we've talked a little bit. Most of my friends are international. Some of them are on scholarships, but majority of them, their parents are like financially stable and more than able to pay off. So.
And what about accommodation fees?
So accommodation fees are quite expensive. I mean, living in London is one of the most expensive student cities in the UK. I'm paying quite a fair amount. I'm not going to say how much. It is expensive, I do agree, but at the same time, being in London is like the financial district of the country, so it exposes you to loads of different opportunities.
And how are you paying for the student fees? I mean, the accommodation fees?
My parents are also paying for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have everything covered effectively?
You have everything covered, yeah.
So very privileged and blessed in life.
Yeah, I guess I'm lucky, which I'm very happy about.
You're really lucky.
I'll make use of any opportunities I get.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah. So in terms of your accommodation fee, so you're living in London, is it quite central in London?
It's zone 1, so it's quite close, like a 20-minute walk from LSE.
Okay. And would you say you're paying more than, say, 6,000 per year in accommodation fees?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Is it more than 10K?
I'm not going to say.
Why not?
Okay, all right, fair enough. Any final comments about the tuition fee situation and leaving with student debt or not leaving with student debt?
I mean, I think for students who are less able to pay off, like less financially, like with parents who aren't able to fully just pay off, they've taken off the loan. But I think the loans, the interest rates are quite extortionate, especially like given that the average salary in the UK is what, £35,000. So they'll be paying off quite a lot of the interest and it'll rack up over time. I mean, it's not ideal at all. However, I guess it's a bit regressive, sorry, but I'm lucky enough to have parents to be able to pay off.